Shining clean, light that makes water safe. Imagine you have a flashlight that shines a special light called ultraviolet UV light. What can you use it for? Even though UV light is invisible to human eyes, it is effective for killing both bacteria and viruses. These germs can make us sick if they're in the water we drink. A UV water purifier works like having this flashlight inside a water pipe. When water flows through this pipe, it passes through the UV light. The light wipes out all the germs in the water and makes them harmless. As a result, the water becomes safe to drink. More importantly, UV water purifiers work without changing the water's taste, smell, or adding anything new to it. Also, because UV purifiers don't use chemicals or anything harmful, they're considered more environmentally friendly. UV water purifiers provide an easy way to make water safe in areas where clean water isn't available. A UV water purifier acts like a safeguard, watching over your water and making sure it's safe to drink. Hello, everyone, and welcome to English for You. I am Mike.
And I'm Laura.
And today we are going to be reading about magic. Well, it's not magic, but it might seem like magic. The article is titled Shining Clean. Shining clean. Interesting combination of words there. A light that makes water safe. Oh, shining clean. Light, the light is shining, that makes water safe. The water is clean. But wait, how does that work?
I think there's probably some special filter.
I would hope so. I don't think this is sunlight we're talking about.
No.
Sunlight is pretty amazing, but I've never heard of sunlight being able to clean water. So we will definitely have to find out more about this very interesting topic that could potentially, possibly save lives and make our kitchens much cleaner. But we're going to have to find out what is going on here. So shall we get to the article?
Let's do that.
All right. So the article begins. Imagine you have a flashlight that shines a special light called ultraviolet UV light. What can you use it for? Well, I don't know, but that's why we're reading the article. But let's imagine that we have a flashlight. I'm sure most of you probably know what a flashlight, and a lot of you might have a flashlight. In fact, there's a flashlight probably on your phone, even if you don't have one. What am I talking about? A flashlight? This is a handheld light. The kind of light you can hold in your hand, you can carry it around. It's usually powered by batteries. And as I mentioned, a lot of phones, they have a flashlight on them, right? So when you lose things at night, when you're lost at night, when you're looking around at night and you're not near a convenient light source, you have a flashlight. So it's a handheld light. This is also, we should remind people, something that British folks would call a torch. Yeah, North American people would say a flashlight. British people would say, "Excuse me, do you have a torch?" A torch.
I say that as well.
Australia too.
Yeah.
But either way, this is powered not by flame or candle, but by electricity, and you'll have an electric light in your hand, a flashlight. For example, Mary keeps a flashlight in her car in case she needs it at night, a very wise thing to do because you never know where you'll be when you start to have car trouble.
Or when there's a blackout.
Or when there's a blackout. Or many other reasons why a flashlight is handy.
Flashlight 到底是什么呢？我们在讲就是手电筒啦，或者它有闪光灯的意思。它是一个名词哦。For example, I grabbed my flashlight and ventured into the dark basement.
Very brave, very brave.
And we also saw the word ultraviolet. 这个有点难哦，就是紫外线 or UV.
That's
we call
right.
that.
UV light. All right. So UV flashlight, that would be a very interesting thing to have. It says, even though UV light is invisible to human eyes, it is effective for killing both bacteria and viruses. Yeah, a lot of us wouldn't really find a UV flashlight very handy Because as it says, UV light, this type of light is invisible to human eyes. It's out there, but you need special glasses or something like that, a special camera in order to see it, because normally it's invisible to human eyes, but UV light is also very useful. As it says in the second part of the sentence, it's effective, or it's very good at, killing both bacteria and viruses. And I'm sure most of you know that bacteria and viruses are two things that can make you sick if you get them in your body. All right, so if something's invisible, that basically means you can't see it. It might be there, and you can't see it. Well, like oxygen. Oxygen is in the air around us, but we can't see it. Or radio waves or cell phone signals, right? You know by looking at your phone, if you can't get a signal on your phone, maybe you're underground or in a tunnel or in an elevator, but you can't actually see the signals flying through the air, can you? No, because those are invisible. Basically, things that might be there, but our eyes can't detect them. Our eyes can't see them. For us, they are invisible. For example, the wizard used a spell to make the hero become invisible. And that obviously would have helped the hero sneak past a monster or something like that. And yes, another thing that's, well, basically invisible to us with our normal eyes would be bacteria. Mainly because bacteria are really, really small.
Ew.
These are very small, simple, living things, and they can sometimes, certain bacteria can make us sick, but other kinds of bacteria can be good. They can also help make good things like cheese or yogurt. And of course, there's good bacteria in your body, right? Good bacteria in your stomach can help your body work well, but outside, foreign, strange bacteria, if it gets in your body, that can make you sick. For example, always wash your hands before you start cooking. You don't want any bacteria to get on the food.
OK, 我们刚刚提到哇，超多的单字在同样个句子当中，像是 even though 这个片语就是虽然、尽管的意思哦。举例来说 ，Even though it was raining, they continued their picnic in the park. 那刚刚 Mike 一直解释的非常好哦，听得非常的精彩，就是 invisible 这个形容词，就是看不见的或是隐形的。所以我们常常会用 invisible to something or somebody 来表示对某个东西或是某人是隐形的。像是呢，小时候我很喜欢这个 the invisible ink。就是看不见的那种墨水哦，神奇墨水 on the paper only appeared under UV light. And we also saw the word bacteria. OK, 这是一个名词哦，它是复数形，就是细菌。它的单数形是 bacterium。不过我们通常很少用到单数形吼。举例来说 ，Scientists discovered bacteria thriving in the unexplored cave. 好恶哦。And we also saw the word virus, which means 病毒, and it's a noun.
Both bacteria and viruses are things we don't want to have in our food and especially in our water. As we get back to the article, we learn why these germs, we're calling both bacteria and viruses germs. In other words, things that are not good if you get them inside you. Or as the article says, these germs can make us sick if they're in the water we drink or in the food that we eat as well, or many other places. Yes, bacteria and viruses can make us sick. A UV water purifier works like having this flashlight inside a water pipe. Wow, that's really a great idea. So as the water goes past the UV light, it kills off the bacteria and viruses, and then the water is safe to drink. What a great idea.
For sure. Okay, so germ 其实就是刚刚我们有探索的这个 bacteria 是类似的意思，就是细菌啊、病菌。Okay, purifier 就是净化器，它是一个名词。所以课文是说，哇，这些细菌如果存在我们饮用的水当中，当然会让我们生病。但是这时候我们有一个 UV water purifier， 就是紫外线的水净化器的作用，就像是在水管里面放了一只手电筒一样，是用来杀菌的哦。
All right, let's get back to it. As the article says, as we just sort of figured out, when water flows through this pipe, it passes through the UV light. Because that's what water does, right? Water flows. This is basically to talk about how something like water, maybe gas as well, you could also say electricity, it kind of moves, right? So people would move, cars would roll, water flows. So it's just sort of the verb that we use for moving water. The water is flowing along the river. The water is flowing through the pipe. The water is flowing from the street into a puddle during a rainstorm or something like that. Basically, water is moving steadily and continuously in one direction from one place to another. We have an example sentence here for flow. Not only water as a liquid can flow. Here's something. The spilled soup quickly began to flow from the kitchen table onto the floor. That is going to make a big mess.
Especially it's oily. Okay, flow 就是流或者是流动，通常是液态的哦，它是一个动词。那这个例子我讲的是我们的泪水啊。After being scolded by her dad, Emma lost control and the tears began to flow.
Oh, that's too bad. Hopefully she'll stop crying soon. Back to the article. It says the light wipes out all the germs in the water and makes them harmless. As a result, the water becomes safe to drink. So there you go. This would be called purifying. Purifying the water, cleaning it, making it safe to drink. We see here that they're using the expression, it wipes out all the germs. This isn't like how you wipe out what you write on a board, like erase. When we use wipe out in this way, it's basically a way of saying killing, right? I used the bug spray to wipe out the mosquitoes that were in my room or something like that. So it kills all the germs in the water and makes them harmless, makes the germs harmless and the water safe to drink. If something is harmless, it is not dangerous. Harm is like danger. Harm is like being hurt or being injured. So if it is harmless, it is not dangerous. And this is an adjective we would usually use to describe things that could be dangerous, that might be dangerous in other situations, but this particular time is not dangerous. So, if you're inside a house during a big lightning storm, well, the lightning should be pretty harmless. It's not going to come through your door and hit you. But if you're standing on top of a mountain in a rainstorm, well, the lightning could harm you, it could hurt you, or it could be harmful. It could be dangerous. So harmful, dangerous, harmless, safe, or not dangerous, at least right now. For example, that beetle may look like a big, scary insect, but it's actually harmless. Some big, scary insects are harmful.
Okay, harmless 我们就知道它字尾是有 less， 就是没有什么的哦，所以就是无害的，它是一个形容词哦。那 harmful 当然是它的相反词，就是有害的，也是一个形容词。举例来说，我们现在举 harmless 的例子是 Despite his intimidating appearance, the guard was harmless and friendly.
Oh, a friendly guard. Well, that's nice. That's very nice. Back to the article. More importantly than having this UV light wipe out the germs and make the water safe, more importantly, UV water purifiers work without changing the water's taste, smell, or adding anything new to it. Well, that's kind of a nice thing. So if you use this, it's only using light to change the water. They're not adding chemicals or filtering the water. So basically, the water would be exactly the way it was before. It would just be safe to drink, and it would taste just the same as it did before. So that is a good thing. And I guess the other thing is, with water purifiers, you have to change them occasionally, right?
Oh, that's right.
You have to buy a new one. They kind of get dirty or filled up, whereas this light, as long as the light is working, the water will be getting purified.
那我觉得这真的很棒耶。他说课文说更重要的是紫外线水净化器可以在不改变水的味道、气味或是添加任何新成分的情况下还可以发挥作用哦。This is so convenient. I want one of those.
It is a great idea. Here's another good thing about it. Also, because UV purifiers don't use chemicals or anything harmful, they're considered more environmentally friendly. So there you go. I guess sometimes when you change your normal water filter or your water purifier, it's made of plastic and it's made of different chemicals and things like that. You have to throw it in the garbage. Again, this is just a light, so there's no pollution that's created by it. And I guess you'd probably change the light bulb, the thing that makes the light, once every few years probably, or even longer. So very environmentally friendly. No chemicals are being used in this process. A chemical is something that is produced either naturally or it could be man-made, and these are used in a chemical process. A lot of the chemicals that you might know are also elements. Oxygen, carbon, nitrogen, and then of course we can combine these chemicals. A lot of you might know salt, what you put on your food. That's actually sodium chloride. I think NaCl would be how you would write the chemical recipe or chemical formula for salt. So everything in the world is basically made up of different types of chemicals. Us, rocks, tables, chairs, plastic. And we combine these chemicals in different ways. We get different substances. Some chemicals are safe to have, like vitamins. Other chemicals would be dangerous. That's why we don't eat plastic. Here's an example sentence. Processed foods like fast food and microwave meals often have lots of chemicals in them. Yeah, that's why they're not as natural as healthy things, natural, fresh things.
No, I eat
true.
some of those.
I know. They're convenient, but not so good.
Chemical 就是化学物质，它是一个名词。For example, the lab technician handled the chemical with caution.
UV water purifiers, it says, provide an easy way to make water safe in areas where clean water isn't available. A very good point. You can also use this probably in the countryside, in countries where they don't have, the other types of water purifiers. And as I said, once you put one in, it will probably work and last and be very useful for a very long time.
所以感谢这个紫外线的水净化器，它提供一个简便的方法，在缺乏干净水的地区，让水变得安全。
A UV water purifier acts like a safeguard, watching over your water and making sure it's safe to drink. So there you go. It acts as a safeguard. This is kind of like an extra safe thing to do. Even if your water purifier doesn't work, the UV water one will. So that's a really great idea.
Safeguard 就是保护措施或是保护的意思，它是一个名词。而 watch over something or somebody 就是保护啦、看管的意思。For example, the security camera was installed to watch over the parking lot at night. And finally, you also saw the phrase make sure, 就是确保、确认。For example, before leaving, I double-checked to make sure all the windows were closed. 哇，希望大家喜欢今天的主题。那不要忘了按赞、订阅、分享我们的 YouTube 频道和 Facebook 哦。
Okay, guys, we have our chat question to do right before we wrap things up. Here's a question. Can you think of any other ways to clean water besides using a UV water purifier? And explain your answer.
Yeah, like I said, I think in our intro, I talked about filters, right? So other ways to clean water might involve using filters, which remove dirt and tiny particles. And I think chemicals like chlorine or ozone can also kill harmful germs.
Yeah, that's true. That'll make your water taste funny, though.
I know, yeah. But boiling water, I think that's another simple way to make it safe to drink by heating it to a high temperature, and that kills bacteria and viruses.
That's very true. But of course, boiling won't remove dirty things from the water, like chemicals in the water won't be killed off. So it's really good to have a combination of these things, right? You have the water purifier, the UV light purifier, and you also make sure your water is as clean as possible from where you're getting it. So there we go, guys. Be safe out there. Think of where your water is coming from, and we should also appreciate that we live in a country where we can get clean water, because a lot of people in the world aren't that lucky, but maybe this UV water purifier will be really useful for them. Thanks for joining us. Take care, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Vocabulary Review. Flashlight. Tina took out her flashlight from the drawer because the power went out during the storm. Invisible. The bugs are so tiny that they're almost invisible. You need to look carefully to see them. Bacteria. Before you eat, you should wash your hands with soap to remove the bacteria on them. Flow. Water flows down this mountain into a river and then off into the sea. Harmless. I'm not scared of a few ants getting in my house. They're pretty harmless. Chemical. You need to wear gloves when you handle these chemicals. They're not safe to touch.
智慧小补帖
Ultraviolet. Virus. Germ. Purifier. Safeguard.